episode number 4.
Welcome to the Teaching Bites podcast, our unprofessional development resource to take your teaching to the next level. Here are your hosts, Fred and Sharon Jaravada.
All right, everyone, welcome to Teaching Bites 4. 4, actually, fun fact, is the only number that has the same number of characters as its value in the English language. So it was really cool to find that fact.
What do you mean by that?
So the number 4, if you spell it out, it's F-O-U-R. It has 4 letters in it.
It's a 4-letter word.
No, you wish. Nope. Also, we know...
It's a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
4-letter word. Pretty cool. And it means number 4.
And other number 4 fact is the Fab Four, the Beatles, right? John, Ringo, Paul, George.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. Pretty cool. Those guys are pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good band.
Pretty good.
What? All right.
All right, so welcome to our episode.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Fred.
And I'm Sharon.
And we are on winter break.
Yes.
Finally. Yeah, winter break. Some people call it winter break. Some people call it Christmas break. We just know we get 2 weeks off from school.
2 weeks to refresh and hang out. And we're going to go to L.A.
Yep,
L.A. See my parents and the family. And we are taking our boys to Disneyland for the first time. So I'm super excited about that.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually super excited. But the thing is, I really want to go. I don't
so
really
you're just
care.
being selfish. You don't really care about them.
I don't care if our boys want to see it. They're too young anyway, 4 and 2-year-old. I want to see it. I've never been there during the Christmas season.
Yes.
And we're going to... I've never seen the night show. What if I can remember? I don't think I've seen the parade at night.
Oh, electric parade. Yeah, maybe when we went, we saw fireworks.
I think so.
But yeah, I mean, growing up in LA, I went all in the summer, so this is very precious to me to introduce happiest place on earth to our kids.
Very cool.
All right,
Very
so
cool.
Today's episode's called The Hour of Code and Beyond.
And beyond. So the hour code, everyone. So do you guys know what the hour code is? Well, I'll tell you. All right. So the Hour Code is a big worldwide movement. It's sponsored by a nonprofit group called Code.org. And the goal is to have every student in every school have the opportunity to learn computer science, at least the basics of it. It's one of the... part of the STEM initiative happening in the United States. And it's a it actually is a very successful movement happening. I believe last time I checked, it was about 83 million hours of code written so far in the United States and worldwide, actually. So that's pretty cool. And we have some thoughts about that we're going to share with you.
Okay, but can you clarify what STEM is first?
Oh, STEM.
Yeah, what is that?
STEM is
for people that don't know.
The science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Is a push to have those 4 strands be emphasized in school curriculum.
And also the new one's also STEAM, where you add A for arts.
Yeah, STEAM. I've heard of STEM with 2 M's at the end. STEMM. The other M is with, I think, music.
Okay.
And the other one that we heard is stream.
Oh, what
Guess
is?
Guess what?
Reading.
Reading. Well, it's all about reading, actually.
Yeah.
So basically, it's everything we teach already. So.
Okay. Thanks for that. All right. So another purpose for coding is so that our students will be having the necessary skills for the future careers as computer programming is more in demand now with apps and all that we have. So
Right, as we're becoming a digital world, there is a lot of predictions that coders, programmers, that's basically the same thing. Actually, if you find out what programming is and what coding is and scripting, there's slight differences, but they pretty much mean the same thing. And we're just going to use them interchangeably. Programming. You probably heard of all the big companies, Google, Apple, Facebook. They hire a lot of coders. It's a pretty popular career to go into now. It's a pretty high-paying career, and a lot of famous coders are billionaires now. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs was not a coder, but he does have a video saying that everyone should know how to program a computer. So he was different. He was more of a design guy. So,
and there's actually a lot of cool videos of those people you mentioned, as well as celebrities, sports figures, models, architects, just talking about how important coding is.
it is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
They have all these celebrities from Michael, the ex-mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, to President Obama, to
Shakira.
Yeah. And to Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley and Warren Sapp, a bunch of all these celebrities, and it's pretty cool. It gets the kids, our kids, engaged, and they get excited when they see these celebrities and sports athletes involved in this.
Yeah.
Now I have a thought about. There's some thoughts about there that do these people actually know what coding is, and were they enticed somehow to participate in this? Maybe not, but it's a pretty cool thing happening.
Well, there's a part on the video, and I think it was Dwayne Wade Chris Bosh.
Yes.
It was him talking about how he was in this coding class, and people were laughing at him. And he was like, "I don't care," because it was really fun. So I remember that in the video.
Yeah, if you look at Chris Bosh of the Miami Heat, his background is of more of a studious. He was more of a studious child when he was growing up. Mm-hmm. So he's more of an introvert and reads a lot of books. And like you said, he was part of the coding programming club back in middle school, and he was able to get a job at a young age. So
yeah,
pretty cool. So that's code.org. And what's cool about this, it happened in 2013 last year, is that a lot of the tech companies, as I mentioned, like Google, Facebook, and Microsoft, they all participated in creating easy mini lessons using popular culture or popular apps like Flappy Bird this year, Frozen,
Angry Birds,
the Angry Birds,
Plants vs. Zombies.
So they took those games and those movies and they made them into mini lessons for the students, adults, and for the students to learn how to code, which is pretty cool. I like that.
And it was very motivating because my kids loved it. I know Angry Birds and
Flappy Bird. That's a big thing. Although I hate that. Hate that game. I can never pass 17. One of my kids the other day showed me he had over 117 his score. So whatever.
Yeah, and so in addition to the plugged tutorials, online, there's a lot of really cool unplugged tutorials, and also ones that for pre-readers. So,
right.
Like for kindergartners that can't read yet, like using symbols like arrows and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a and if you go to code.org, and that's where you can find all the tutorials, and you'll see if you scroll down, there is a game or a lesson that you can use paper, pencil, and plastic cups, And that's pretty cool because you don't really need. It's teaching computational thinking, and we'll get that in a moment. But you don't need a computer to learn how to code, which is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting too.
Yeah, and it's fun because for like kinesthetic learners, you can actually have the kids move, and that's what we did with the kindergartners in my school. They moved according to the arrows in their bodies, you know. Mm-hmm. But one cool game that you gave me an idea for that we actually bought for our own kids is Robot Turtles.
Robot Turtles.
Yeah, and this dad, I guess, made this game because he wanted his kids to learn programming.
So the dad is he used to work at Google.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he made this game, and he made a campaign on Kickstarter, and it became the most successful Kickstarter for a board game ever. And now you can find it on Amazon, and you can find it on, I think, Target. Right?
I saw it at Target.
And you could also find a link on our resource page to that, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Very cool game. Like I said, it's a hands-on board game where they're like cards. It's a nice quality board, and it teaches coding for 4-year-old kids and up. Mm-hmm. Maybe I think honestly, it's probably go up to maybe at least 8, 9, maybe 10 years old, and after that, it's probably going to get way too easy.
Babyish, yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. Our 4-year-old loves it.
I mean, it's a good introduction, you know, and kids that like to like actually play with pieces and board games.
And
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, and you can find that online. I think it's about under $20 or so.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you told me about the Art of Code last year, I really thought about when I grew up in 5th grade. 5th grade, I used the Apple IIe. Mm-hmm. Remember that? All the green graphics only.
I was an Apple I, I think.
Yeah. Okay. But my teacher had us use Logo, and that was awesome because I programmed the turtle to move, and that was one of the highlights of 5th grade. Besides, of course, I remember I had a floppy disk back in the day, the 5-inch.
Yeah, those 5-inch.
I think we're dating
disk.
ourselves, but
well, it's all right. And then it became the 3-inch floppy disk, the hard disk.
Right. Cool. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so fun because instantly I could see that when I programmed this turtle to move, it's like it's moving in the direction in which I programmed it to move. And I looked forward to the computer class all the time. So now I look at the kids, I'm like, wow, so much has changed.
Now they have iPads.
But it's the same concept still.
Oh, same concepts now. But one thing about this initiative, this movement, code.org, what they're trying to say is that, yes, coding is great, and how today we have moved so beyond that we don't really need to code anymore, per se. But the thing is, we're consuming more, like apps.
Right.
And the creation of apps, it seems to be more in the domain of the coders, the hardcore coders. And the push is also to have our kids, our students, to create their own games, their own tools or digital tools, their portfolios, whatever, for themselves. So that's a pretty cool thing that people need to realize. It's just not using games, but or playing games, but also to create their own games or their own animations or their own playlist of tools, per se, for their learning.
And we'll talk about that in detail later. But, why should people code on the other hand, right? And those of you who don't know the 4 C's, right? Creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, communication. All these skills are touched upon with coding. And, of course, the bigger umbrella is the Common Core standards. And, I really like doing this with my kids because when they have to do this in pairs, they have to talk to each other, figure it out together. They use their critical thinking skills. And they can also be creative when they make their own projects. And we'll talk more about what kind of projects you can do. but it's engaging, it's fun, and they're learning while they're doing it.
And they don't even realize it.
Even know we're tricking them.
Yeah, we are tricking. You have to. As teachers, you got to trick our students to learn. Yeah. So going back to it also adds the computational thinking behind coding. And if you don't know what computational thinking is about, it's really about analyzing and logically organizing data, information, breaking big problems in small, bite-sized chunks so that you can solve these problems. It also teaches you how to formulate these problems so that computers can help you, so you can program the computer. I like to tell my kids that computers are pretty dumb. They don't do anything until you tell it what to do.
That's a good
yeah, and they agree. A laptop can just sit there, an iPad can just sit there and not do anything unless you tell it what to do using a program. Sometimes I like to use the word recipe so that they can understand what that means. There are steps to the program for the computer to run. Another part of computational thinking is about identifying and testing solutions. You could run solutions, virtual solutions to these problems, and automating these solutions with all the programs and all these recipes. So that's part of the whole computational thinking area that coding does bring to learning.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So one of the questions is, why should our students, our kids, learn how to code? Well, the way I see it, and I gave this talk one of our open nights to the parents, prospective parents, and I believe that learning a little bit of coding, the basics of coding, can help you and our students when they get older, when they find themselves in their careers, that it can help them in their personal lives and in their professional lives. How is that? How can that happen? Well, think about our students 30 years from now, 20, 30 years from now, and they're surgeons. One of them is a surgeon, and most likely than not, they're going to be working with some kind of robotics in the surgery room, right? And it would be nice. It would be a good thing that the doctor knows how to read the code that went into the computer to the robot to help assist the doctor, so they can identify how efficient the program is or how elegant it can be to perform the surgery.
So it's a very practical skill, you're saying.
Yeah.
No matter what career you're going to.
Right. And and right now, like politicians, they are making legislation about the internet and about net neutrality and so on. But it's interesting, a lot of these congressmen and women, they don't know anything about coding, yet they are making decisions about coding and about the internet. So it's like making a decision about something you don't know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I believe, at least people should learn a little bit of coding. It's like everyone should learn how to change the oil of their car or change a flat tire in their car. They should know how to do that at least, and not rely on AAA and so on.
Right.
So that's a thing why I think coding is important to learn.
Okay. Well, here's a part we're going to talk about how you can integrate coding into your classrooms and projects. So one of the I guess tutorials on code.org I bumped into last year, and this year it's called Lightbot, and it's really fun because it's a little robot that you can program to move in either direction and jump, and they have to reach the certain square on the
Now, Sharon,
matrix.
is that an app or is that on the browser?
That's on the browser. I don't think I've seen the app. Maybe
So
I think
Lightbot, you did.
Oh, there is an app. I forgot. Yes.
So you
That's
can
right.
download the app, and also there is a browser version you can do on the website, also code.org.
Right. So, and coincidentally, when I introduced Hour of Code, I was teaching a geometry and math about circles. So I said, "Oh wow, this is perfect. I can use Lightbot to teach rotations and degrees, like 90 degrees, and it's really cute because it has cool music and very interactive. But definitely something you have to it's for readers, kids that know how to read. But there's some symbols too, but there's some parts you have to read, like when you get to the more complex programs. So that was really cool.
Right. So one of my favorite tools I've started with this with my third, and I'm beginning with my fourth next semester, and introducing my fifth, and we are finishing it with my sixth grader. So third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, I'm using this with my classes, is something called Scratch. It's invented by the folks at the MIT Lifelong Kindergarten Group. That's a pretty cool name. And they created this app or this program that's available online at scratch.mit.edu, I believe. We'll have the notes. We'll have the link on our show notes. And it's a very, very intuitive and very easy app or programming language to learn. It basically looks like Lego blocks, colorful Lego blocks, where you build the recipes. And what's great about it, it's you can read it. It has words on those blocks that when you start building together, they actually can make sentences. So it makes more sense. Like if the green flag, that's one block. If the green flag is clicked, move 10 pixels forward, and that's another block. So you can see how those blocks can connect and make a full sentence. And there's a forever loop. There's also the sound elements, and also the switching of the background and costumes. So check that out. I use that a lot for my my classes for what we used to do, a lot of PowerPoint, a lot of keynote presentations, and honestly, we got tired of all the bullet points. Not everything can be bulletized, if it's even a word. So we take one of the projects is about the Hadza project of Africa. Instead of doing a bulleted PowerPoint, the sixth grade boys make an animation for the presentation, and they code it. So they're actually telling a story. And I'm grading the coding aspect, making sure that they have at least an interactive character with another character, changing costumes and changing the background, having a sound element. So I'm grading that, while my colleague, the social studies teacher, is grading the content of the Hadza project, where they learn from their curriculum, and it's amazing. Last year we started it, and it was somewhat difficult as the boys and girls were learning how to use Scratch, and we were learning it also. But after about a couple weeks of using it myself, and I'm no way an expert in it, but I was able to set up challenges. I can introduce Scratch first. Like the first challenge is to make your character move 10 spaces forward. Challenge number 2, make your character move 10 spaces backwards. And I want to tell them how to do it. They would have to figure it out. And how to move your character backwards is you have to add a negative number. And then I would build off their skill that they just learned into another skill. And eventually they got the 10 challenges. And with that, we introduced the animation project for them. And then they were able to use those 10 skills and go beyond that. one thing about this project includes the 4Cs and one of its collaboration. So we allowed the students to talk to each other and learn from each other, and let them basically play with the Scratch program, and they took it way beyond
That's
than
pretty
we were
amazing.
asking. I'm going to embed some of these Scratch programs, these projects onto our website. So please check those out. Just observe how, when you go through the video and the interactive animation, observe the complexity that's happening and the coding behind it. So check that out when you can.
Yeah, and I haven't done this with my class. I did show them, not to the complexity that you had it in, but I showed it and I had kids just play with it. But I'm wondering about how do the kids save projects on there? How did you get them to do that?
Oh, so the way I did it, and I might change this for next time because I'm not really too happy, but this year I created one folder under my name, Jaravada, a Jaravada folder, login, and the password that they all know. We created that, and then they open up they create a new project, and they save that in my username, and you can find that all under my stuff. That worked pretty well, but I think I made the mistake of including my third graders and my fourth graders into that same login, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to have a separate login for the fourth graders and the third graders also, just so that, because it gets all mixed up, it gets all kind of crazy to find the project. It's like a long list, and the students, when they have to scroll down, it's hard to find it. But next year, I think I'm going to go ahead and have them create their own login, as our students have a Gmail account, and they can use their Gmail username and their password, so that they can work on their own project and reduce the amount of, I can't find my code, it's been deleted, someone else went in and deleted it. I'm going to get rid of all that.
So a management issue.
Right. So that's one thing. Probably try that out. Have them all create their own account.
So for if you have each kid open their own, and let's say you want to look at it,
right?
Do they have to share it with you and your account? How does that work?
So they can share. There's no way to share it. They can share it, but I can't see the code. So we're going to have them for next time use their login. We all have their Gmail login.
So you just go into their account,
and we just log in exactly with their credentials. And we trust them, but we also say we do spot checks, just like with our iPads. We do spot checks.
Yeah.
I won't check the whole class, but I'll check like one or two in front of everyone, just to have them,
accountable,
stay true,
and
right? Right. So same thing with their Scratch project.
Okay, maybe next year I'll do that. I think I'll have them because my school now is Google School, so they all have their own logins and passwords.
Google School, yes.
Yes.
Maybe I might have a show about me visiting another school that's been founded by former Google employees. So that's pretty cool. It's a very interesting way. They're called micro schools, and that's probably another topic for another podcast episode. It's pretty interesting. Micro schools.
Wow. I want to hear more about that.
And another part of the whole coding thing, there's always the other argument. Should everyone learn how to code? I think so. But there's a lot of great information out there and people talking about, no, not everyone should learn how to code. And there's a great argument by a programmer himself named Jeff Atwood. I'm going to go ahead and put his website on and relevant links on our show notes so you can read about that. But he basically talks about how there's a danger of having a lot of inferior code happening in everyday tools, and that is a danger. And Another part is that people have other things to worry about, like reading, math, science.
Yeah.
Have them really concentrate on those things and not the tool itself. And I understand that logic also, and I agree with that a little bit also.
Well, I think that's why, we talked about how you integrate coding in your classroom. It's not just, okay, let's just go on these tutorials and then, okay, we'll do one this week and one next week. No, it's just a tool. So we want to make that clear to you guys.
Right. So it's just a tool. It's another way for our students to get engaged in, but I think it's a very valuable way also. We trick our students into learning something. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. They're engaged, and I love that. I love their enthusiasm about it.
Yeah, whenever I have can-do time, like choice, my kids more often than not choose coding. And they could do many other things, but they love it. They just can't wait to do it, learn how to do it with their partner or by themselves. And I hear the, oh yeah, or the, oh my God, that's so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. But just to reiterate, to say again that I'm in no way an expert coder. I'm not a programmer. I know a little bit of it, but I really have my students try to figure out themselves, like how I just created some challenges. I learned how to move my character forward and backwards, spin, and so on. But that's pretty much what I know, actually. And but I really challenge my students to use it, let them figure it out, help each other, and show me how to code. How do they do that? So it's a team thing. My job this year is also to be less helpful, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily that I don't have to know anything. I have to know a little bit of it, but I have to set up the questions properly and the challenges so that they're able to learn.
It's like student-centered learning.
Right, exactly. Project-based learning. Let the kids figure it out. And so my advice to teachers is don't worry you have to know everything about coding, about Scratch if you choose to use that, or Lightbot. Don't worry about it. Just work together with your students and just work together, play together. That's what you got to do. You got to play with the app or play with the Scratch, the program.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us, and please leave an honest rating and comment for feedback. It will really help us make our show better and helps our show be discovered by other teachers and people like you interested in education. Visit our site at teachingbytes.com and please subscribe. And also we have a Facebook page. You can visit and like facebook.com/teachingbytes. And we'll see you next time.
All right, guys. See you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Teaching Bytes podcast at www.teachingbytes.com.